All right, we're going to try this again, friends. Okay, what we are doing now, we are reading this is the response letter from Basil Sagos to Donna Lupardo. How did I can make that not come up? I'll put it up that way. All right. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm just checking. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I got rid of that bad audio. All right, so we're going to try this again. One more quick audio check. I'm just checking. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I got rid of that bad audio. All right, so we're going to try this again. One more quick audio check. I'm just checking. Okay, I think that's kind of a crazy audio, weird loopy thing. I'm trying to figure out if that's really still there. Right, so we're going to try this again. One more quick audio check. Okay, I think I've solved the audio problem. All right. This is the Basil Sagos letter. Okay, this is the Basil Sagos letter that was sent to Donna Lupardo in response to a letter of inquiry that she sent to him. Okay? And it's very interesting. First of all, note that the date is July 1st, so this is already August 12th. So this is already over a month old, a month and 10 days, a little over a week. And Office of the Commissioner, dear Mrs. Lupardo. So she sent him a list of questions, and they were really softball questions, and they really didn't get to the root of the problem. And I don't think was it through some fault of mine? Maybe it was. I tried to communicate with the people in power, and I feel like I need to be careful. They say when you speak, you create a reality. My perception is that I'm not heard. I was trying to make Donna hear me about these points. She's not saying them. So when she wrote this letter to Basil Sagos, and I'm just going to read the reply because the questions are all here. Her questions to him, that was the bulk of it. Other than some sycophancy, which we will happily edit. Just to save people in the audience from puking. Anybody paying attention? All right. So this is DEC's responses, and I'm sorry about the stream has been going down. YouTube has made a change to their the way they do their streaming. So If the connection goes down, it just terminates it. Bam. There's no coming back. It just end of stream. So maybe there's a setting that I haven't found yet that makes it more robust and to hang out like it used to. Seems like this is change. So this is the third time I've tried to stream tonight. My stream keeps getting interrupted. So don't know why that's happening. I'm just reporting that it is. So that's why I've been popping in and out. So I'm sorry if it's a little disjointed, the conversation tonight. I guess once again, I'm going to make a pledge to try to make some clips, publish some little clips, because I think the little clips are helpful. More helpful because very few people are going to be intrepid enough to sit through I did a 5-hour live stream the other day. So I really need to go through. On one hand, I'm practicing. It's a good practice to be able to just keep doing content, cranking out content, and have it be pretty high quality. So it is good rhetorical practice to be in order to try to keep, to try to get comfortable in front of the camera and to keep cranking stuff out. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Now, so this letter, Donna, does she bring up any of the issues that I identified? Any of the issues concerned citizens of Endicott identified in terms of the need for a Type 1 seeker review? No. An environmental impact statement? No. The coordinated review? Nah. Public hearings? Nah. It's like nap. People in my circle, we make fun of this one guy. He's like, yep. That's the way he talks. If you're from around here, you might know who I'm talking about. Yep. So, where was I going with this? Basil Sagos is answering Donna Lupardo's softball, underhanded, wishy-washy, sycophantic, easy does it questions to Basil Sagos. Here's him replying. Okay, this is the commissioner from the DEC. This is his first time. This is noteworthy. July 1, 2020. This is the first time that he's on the record on this, and this ain't good. This is not good for Basil Sagos. So Donna says, here's her first, whoopsie go. Here we go. Kind of her first underhanded pitch. Can you provide a summary of the DEC's review of the Endicott project? And he says, DEC subjects all applications for environmental permits to a transparent and rigorous review process to ensure the protection of public health and the environment. Well, you didn't do a very rigorous process if you didn't find the problem with the Sungeel permit and the Endicott zoning and the 617, the 6NYCRR 617.4B2 requirement for a Type 1 seeker because you needed to change the zoning. It took me 15, I used to say 5 minutes on Google, or, I would really exaggerate. It probably took me 15 minutes because one of the things I had to go to Google Earth and I had to first find a map of Endicott's industrial zone. Then I had to trace it out on Google Earth and measure the area that way. That's how I got 560 acres. It took a little bit of time. It didn't take a long time. It took a little bit of time to verify that. What's DEC's excuse? This is what they do all day long. You don't think they know about 6NYCRR 617.4B2? Sure they do. They just glossed right over it. This is part of the service that's provided by Empire State Development, and that's the targeted legal and regulatory relief to our partners. Burdensome legal and regulatory relief. That's what we're offering. That's the service. You come over, you make a deal with our boys over at Empire State Development, and they're going to offer you a special package of targeted legal and regulatory relief, targeted relief from burdensome legal and regulatory burdens or requirements. That's the mission statement for Empire State Development. So this is the kind of people we're dealing with here, okay? Basil Sagos is answering Donna's softball questions. Here we go. DEC subjects all applications to a transparent and rigorous review process. Well, you know what, Basil Sagos? Your rigorous process did not find the zoning problem, the express prohibition that existed, the clear and unambiguous express prohibition on incinerators in any zone in Endicott prior to May 7th, 2020. You had to change the zoning. How many acres did it impact? 500. I'm trying to perfect that. That was an old-time cartoon voice from the 1960s. The guy with the puffy lips or something. He's like, I can't do it. You have to really relax your jaws. Transparent and rigorous. Something like that. Transparent and rigorous review process. 15 minutes in Google it took me to find that there was a necessary zoning change impacting 560 acres, according to me. Now, Delta Engineering, I understand. Delta Engineers found a different number. Okay, big whoop, whatever. What's their number? 480. Okay, whatever it is, I don't care. The point is, 480 is still bigger than 25. 25 acres is the threshold in 6 NYCRR 617.4 B2. 25 acres is the threshold. How many needs to be changed in Endicott? Well, it depends on whether you ask Bill Huston or Delta Engineering, Delta Engineers. Delta Engineers, I think, says 480 acres, I think. Bill Huston says 560. So both of those, you'll notice, are greater than 25. A lot greater than 25. More than 10 times greater than 25. DEC's transparent and rigorous review process failed to find the zoning problem, didn't it, Basil Sagos? Oh, now this really gives me a lot of pain. This gives me so much pain. I get pain in my stomach. In my stomach. When I see this gaslighting, oh no, here's another one. The application showed that the actual annual emissions from the facility qualified the facility for an AFR under DEC's air permitting regulation. AFR, that means Air Facility Registration. This is so sad. Oh. Okay. because that's not what I read in the official documents. This is like a cover story that they made up. It's like, this is what Linda Jackson calls the 2 permits. It wasn't 2 permits. It was the fact that they started out as a registration, which is just like, wink, wink, here's your check. Okay, looks good to me. Nudge, nudge, you do your secret handshake, off you go. Transfer the suitcase full of money. No problem. There's no problems here. Air facility registration, baby. All the way. It's the Endicott special. We started out, Sungeel initially applied for the Endicott special. That's what this is. You think it's a joke, okay? Sungeel first applied for the Air Facility Registration, AFR, under the Endicott special. Remember, the Endicott special. What do you get? You get a you get an unlisted seeker action. You get an uncoordinated review, snicker, which is no review. You get the you get the air facility registration, all under the umbrella of the Endicott special. And no environmental review. No EIS, no public hearings. Yeah, baby, that's what we like. We like the streamlined, no problem, slide us right in. Everything's all pre-lubed. We like the pre-lube. That's what we're paying for. We want the deluxe, ultra-fast, slide it in permit. How do we get that? What's the fee? So, the application showed that the actual annual emissions from the facility qualified for the facility for an AFR under DEC's air permitting regulations. Now, I can show you the Thomas Elter letter if you want me to, where, I think I actually have it coming up. I gotta find it. But Thomas Elter said nothing of the kind. He didn't say, let me find it. DEC to Sungeel, Endicott battery. Where is the... Hang on. Where is the Elter? Anyway, that's going to take me too long to find it. Let's continue with Basil Segos. Let's try to get through the Basil Segos letter. Basically, they made up this story that, well, even though it qualified for an air facility registration, even though it qualified for the Endicott special, we decided to bump it up to an air state facility, ASF. That's what he starts getting to down here. Because we were so kind, okay? But here's where it really makes me mad, okay? DEC, this is where we are, right here. DEC raised questions about the formation of dioxin emissions from the dryer kiln. Come on. So that's what bothers me. This bothers me when I hear the commissioner of the Department of Environmental Conservation using these fucking lie terms. It's a fucking lie. It's not a dryer. There's no moisture in these batteries. What does the word dryer mean? This is not a dryer. That's not the purpose of a dryer. It's a fucking lie. It's a PR smokescreen word. It's a Stephen J. Donnelly word. Dryer kiln. It's a fucking incinerator. It's what it is. The purpose of it is to burn off impurities. It's a purification. It's purifying the metals by burning, boiling off, burning off materials, whatever they throw in there, whatever they can't separate easily in the crash and bash process. They just throw it in there. Crank up the heat of the afterburner. We think this one has PFAS, so turn it up. There's Danish Mir out there with the giant flamethrower. It's like he cranks it up from 800 degrees C to 1,000 degrees. What are you doing? I'm destroying! Destroy! What about the PFAS and the dioxins? It's like it, and you get a close up of his cartoon hand, you know, going from 8 to 11. There's I am destroying the PFAS. This flamethrower is so hot it actually defies the conservation of matter. It actually translates matter directly into energy. We destroy those nasty fluorine ions. Nasty, nasty. We destroy. So the fact that Basil Sagos is talking about the dryer kiln, it just shows you he's part of it. He's part of it. He's got his hand in the pie. Basil Sagos. Otherwise, he wouldn't be calling it a fucking dryer kiln. That's bullshit. It's the purpose of this thing and it's to burn, to roast and to burn, to get rid of the impurities. Where are the impurities going to go? The impurities going to go to Korea? No, the impurities are going to go into Endicott's air and the bag house. A lot of stuff is going to pass through the bag house. I liked what John Ruspentini said about air and water don't mix. In other words, the bag house only dissolves things that dissolve in water. Oil-based contaminants, guess what happens to them? He says that they pass through the wet scrubber. That's interesting. So, although listen to this. Listen how he repeats it. In the letter dated March 18th, DEC advised the applicant that although it appeared the facility was able to register. Okay, I got to find this March 18th, 2019. I've shown you this. March 18th, 2019. I've shown you this. I'll show you again. It's okay. Let's go through it one more time. March 18th, 2019. This is I always have to think about. This isn't from Dale Vollmer. This is from the DEC, New York DEC, Region 7, Syracuse. They're writing to Dale Vollmer. So I guess it was received by Plumley Engineering. It's interesting. I don't know why how did I get something from Plumley? Oh, maybe this was on, they had like a Dropbox thing up for a while. Maybe this came from their Dropbox. So, but this is the March 18th letter that they were talking about, that Basil Sagos was talking about. And He's like, oh, it was discretionary. It qualified for a registration. Okay, so first of all, let's find the word. Now, all right, so now this one, the DEC is still here calling it rotary dryer. Rotary dryer. What did Basil Sagos call it? Dryer kiln. Rotary dryer kiln. It's like, how many different fun combinations can we make? Kids. How many different fun combinations? Rotary dryer kiln. Where are we? Is my understanding. Oh, and here, pyrolysis unit. Here's another one. It's a pyrolysis unit. What is it? Is it a rotary dryer? Yeah. But I thought you said it was a dryer kiln. Yeah, a dryer kiln. Yeah, that's it. Dryer kiln. Yeah. Which is it? Yeah, what you said. But your own company calls it a pyrolysis unit. Yeah. That's it. We said three different things. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's it. Pyrolysis unit, rotary dryer, rotary kiln, afterburner. It just seems like that that's suspicious to me when they start changing changing the language. It's got 20 different names. Is that an incinerator? No. Nope. It's not an incinerator. I can imagine. What did I just hear? I just heard that song, Aphex Twin, Come to Daddy, because that's got some extreme, like, screaming in it, like the megaphone screaming. Okay, so rotary dryer, pyrolysis unit. Yeah. Pyrolysis, that's it. There's other names for it too. Calcinator. I've been seeing in the job listing. We could go look at that job listing, and that's when it talks about a calcinator. At the time, the need for an oxidizer, fabric filter, wet scrubber was unclear. This is the point. We're looking for the word registration. Because Basil Sagos, this is what we're trying to get to, Basil Sagos said that this qualified for a registration. But out of the kindness of our hearts, so that we could set some permit conditions, DEC decided to bump it up to an air state facility. This is the letter the DEC sent to the engineering firm hired by Sungeel. Let's see if it matches what the story that's been repeated by many different people from the DEC. And now we got the commissioner saying it too. Let's try to verify it from the original documents. Let's see if we can find evidence of the fact that they said, oh, this qualifies. This does qualify for a registration. Let's see if that says, we've been through this. Let's do it again. Let's do it one more time. Here's the first match of the keyword besides in the title. Additionally, the DEC is informing you, we are informing you of our decision to upgrade the application from a registration to a state facility permit. What? It's because when we initially met, we thought it was this. And since this is my favorite, I love this. Since this should be read with one of those, voiceover actors for the inside. They're so calm. Since SMCC's proposed rotary dryer would be operated at temperatures higher than the ignition temperatures of some of the materials treated in the dryer. Wait, what? Say that again? since SMCC's proposed rotary dryer would be operated at temperatures higher than the ignition temperatures of some of the materials treated in the dryer, there are two options to address potential applicability to the EPA's incinerator rule. But this is the part. Since SMCC's proposed rotary dryer would operate at temperatures higher than the ignition temperature of materials in it, guess what that means? They're going to burn. What's an incinerator? Oh, it's indirect flame. It doesn't really, they don't burn the batteries. Just like, it's the Danish dance. I don't know if that's appropriate or not. I think he's like Iranian or something. I don't know what nationality he is. He went to school in Kuala Lumpur. Isn't that interesting? This guy is an international jet setter. So, did they say, oh, you did qualify for a registration? No. Okay, look at that. There's no more, the keyword doesn't match. There's no more registration. So let's click again. There it is in the title. There it is here. Informing you of our decision to upgrade the application. The DEC has concluded that given the complexity of the control equipment, a state facility permit will be required. You hear that? Due to the complexity of the control equipment, a state facility permit will be required. That doesn't sound like what Basil Segos is saying. The commissioner. Basil Segos is telling a bullshit story. Why? Where's he getting this story from? What public relation is this? I mean, is he confused? Does he have bad advisors? The dryer kiln asked the applicant to provide additional details in a letter dated March 18th. The DEC advised the applicant, although it appeared the facility was eligible to register, no. It's not what it says. That's not what the record says. Why are you making up a bullshit story, Basil Segos? DEC advised the applicant, although it appeared the facility is able to register, DEC was requiring, and there you go, required. There was no language that it appeared to be able to register. But look, the DEC, out of the kindness of our hearts, due to the complexity of the process and the level of air pollution controls involved to remove air toxics, requiring an ASF permit allowed DEC to impose specific permit conditions. Yeah, good. In other words, imposing this permit actually requires DEC to do something, to do their job. We were just going to give them the Endicott special, which gives the DEC a complete hands-off approach, complete honor system, self-reporting. That's the Endicott special. Requiring an ASF permit allowed the DEC to impose specific permit conditions for compliance testing and monitoring. And requiring a public comment period, neither of which could occur with the registration process. Well, I think neither of which could occur, would occur. Maybe not typically, but you can do anything you want to. But it doesn't sound discretionary. It sounds like somebody said, we have to do it this other way. Basil Segos is making it sound like, it was some kind of gift to Endicott, to the people of Endicott. The DEC decided to actually try to regulate a corporation to like the, you know, the lowest level other than zero. It also triggered DEC's involvement in the secret review for the project, which would not have happened under the registration. What? So in other words, there's no lead agency if it's basically a, what's it called? It's a type 2 action. The type 2 action is just like, that's it. Stop right there. No, nothing. During the secret review, all relevant areas of the environmental impact were identified. Really? Not sure that's true. And none were found to have potentially significant adverse environmental impact. Bullshit. Emitting 4 known carcinogens into the air that we will breathe out of stacks that are just 110 feet tall. That is an unmitigated impact, which should trigger a positive declaration. That's one of a dozen or more. During the secret review, all relevant areas of environmental impact were identified and none were found to have potentially adverse environmental impact because the DEC committed fraud and issued a false certificate with false statements in it. New information that may become available will be thoroughly evaluated to determine the potential environmental impacts. Are you going to follow the law, Basil Segos? In addition to requiring an ASF permit, the DEC also required the applicant to seek an applicability determination of the Environmental Protection Agency to ascertain whether the process would be subject to EPA's Commercial and Industrial Solid Waste Incineration Rule. The EPA concluded that the process fit the definition of a commercial and industrial solid waste incinerator. There you go. Is it an incinerator? Basil Segos says it is. Basil Segos agrees with the EPA and with the DEC's prior comments and also with Sungeel. Sungeel has said this in their own documents. So it's good to see at least Basil Segos confirm that this is in fact an incinerator according to the EPA's rule. So thank you, Basil Segos, for that. But was nonetheless exempt because of the purpose of the device was to recover metals. It's exempt because metal recovery was exempted from the law for whatever reason. I looked that up in the Federal Register. It was like 2000 or something. It was a while ago that law went into effect. An Air State Facility Permit application was submitted August 2019 with data on dioxin emissions based on a 4.5-hour stack test run conducted at a similar facility in South Korea, which showed projected emissions of dioxin to be 100 times lower. First of all, I forget what Dr. Connett says, but he says that, so this was a 4.5-hour stack test, and I think he said they normally do it for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. It's weeks long. Testing it all at all kinds of times of the day and under different upset conditions, normal operation, whatever. So this test that they did, that they based it all on, was insufficient. The threshold is included in the facility's ASF permit as an enforceable limit, and the permit enforceable limit. Oh boy, with your wet noodle of enforcement. They have the rubber stamp of the regulatory rubber stamp, and then the wet noodle of enforcement. And the DEC's conservative acceptable risk threshold. Yeah, did you run that by the people in Endicott? Do we consider it an acceptable risk? Why don't you poll us and see what you think? The threshold is included in the facility's ASF permit as an enforceable. So this is what I wanted to say. which showed this model based on this computer model based on this insufficient test in South Korea, unverifiable, not easily verifiable, with projected emissions of dioxins to be 100 times lower. That doesn't make any sense. I know you hear that fairly commonly in advertising for 100 times lower. That doesn't make any sense. 100 times means bigger. It's 100 times bigger. What do you mean lower? What do you mean that's 100 times bigger lower? Bigger lower? Bigger lower? 100 times bigger lower. 100 times lower? You mean 1/100th the size? 1/100th is a smaller thing. 1/100. Is that what you mean? 1/100? 1 divided by 100. That's a tiny quantity. So you wouldn't say it's lower than. You would say it's 1/100th. The DEC's conservative acceptable risk threshold. That's what you meant to say. Just saying 100 times lower, it sounds like you're in a marketing program at a junior college. Now this is interesting. Okay? This was something that I learned from reading this. Listen to this, okay? I had no idea about this. And I can't find it in any of the records that I have. Isn't that interesting? It's probably because it's not an air permit. I was asking, I don't know, maybe they didn't give me something that they should have given me because my request should have gone to multiple departments, maybe. I don't know, but listen to this. Following the careful permit review and transparent public process, our careful permit review and transparent public process, DEC in all of our glory issued the Air State Facility Permit and and the Solid Waste Management Facility Recycling Registration on March 30th and April 1st, respectively. What? There are references to this thing, this registration, Solid Waste Management Facility Recycling Registration. And you know what's interesting? I found the application, and it's hard to find because of how Dale Plumley, Dale Plumley, that's his name, right? No, Dale Vollmer from Plumley Engineering. Dale. Because of how he named the file. He called it SW. SW. What's the SW? What the heck is the SW? What's up with the SW? Dale. Well, just stand by 1 second. That's not what I wanted. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so it was all right, SF. I know it's going to match a lot of stuff. Do the date. ASF. Oh, SW. SW. Stand by 1 second, friends. I'm still looking for... So I found the application. That's what this is. He calls it the engineering report for the SMCC, the Solid Waste Management Facility registration. So this might not be even the registration application. Looks like it's just the engineering report for such. I'm finding an official document that I don't seem to have, so I did some foils. In fact, I might need to foil some additional things. But I'm going to try to chase down this Solid Waste Management Facility registration permit materials. This seems to be part of it, but I have a very incomplete record of this thing. First time hearing about it from Basil Sagos, Commissioner of the DEC, who as of July 1st is on the record about the incinerator. And it ain't good because he's using these gaslighting terms. He did admit that it was an incinerator. Following the careful permit review and transparent process, DEC issued the Air State Facility Permit and the Solid Waste Management Facility Recycling Registration on March 30th and April 1st, respectively. Lastly, on May 4th, collaborators between DEC Region 7 and research scientists from the New York State Attorney General's Office revealed the potential presence of per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS. PFAS, 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 PFAS. The issue had not been brought up previously to DEC and was not identified in the application. And God help DEC to actually try to, do some independent research. It's like, well, the applicant didn't put it there. How were we supposed to know? If the applicant didn't put it on the permit, we don't know. Where do we supposed to know? Because the DEC is asleep. Asleep at the switch. That the permit, so this is what collaborations with the scientists from the Attorney General's office. I really think that this was motivated from No Burn Broom. So No Burn Broom raised this issue. So good job, No Burn Broom. You got us a delay, but we're still not on the path to an EIS. On the path, on the road to the EIS. That's where we got to get to. We got to get to the road that takes us to the EIS. It's like the yellow brick road. We're not heading on the yellow brick road right now. And you're asking for permit conditions. That's what your ask is about right now. So I'm hoping No Burn Broom gets their head adjusted, their collective heads adjusted, and we all start working together and asking for the right things. And just involve me, let me review I saw a lot of people going like this on the Zoom call after John Ruspentini was saying, Bill Huston, blah, 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 hey, wants to derail this thing. What's the big hurry? Was there a big hurry? I don't know. Is there something I don't know about? Why was the big rush? Why can't we wait for 2 weeks or whatever it is for the next time in the town of Union to meet to really get a bulletproof? I was surprised at all the people that are going, it's like, yeah, the person that yells at Bill Huston, yay for you. It's a little shocking. It's like how fast people, I get up there and they are all clapping me, and then bam, people switch like that fast. Okay, Pramila, what does Pramila always tells me? This one Buddhist quote from the Dhammapada. I got to remember it. It's like something about, it's the 8 winds of the householder. I forget what it is. It's, be neither attached to praise or blame, something like that. Don't get attached to either praise or blame, either one. You're winning the lottery, you're in the gutter, and you're homeless. You're rich, you're poor, you're tall, you're short, you're this, you're that. It's always flipping, it's always oscillating, it's always different throughout your different karmic rebirths, if you believe in that kind of thing. Boinky boink, every kind of thing. So, where am I going with that? Talking about yoga stuff. So, that the permit, so I'm going to try to get back to this and wrap it up. That the permit was only valid for, so here, Basil Segos, remember before Donna Lupardo, I think it sounded to me like Donna Lupardo said that the permit was rescinded. And now here we have Basil Segos saying, in fact, what did she say exactly? She said, the permit for the plant was suspended, waiting for the company's response. So I don't know if the company has responded yet or not, but Donna Lupardo says the permit for the plant was suspended. That's not what Basil Segos is saying. Basil Segos says that the permit is only for non-PFAS containing batteries, that the manufacturer's certifications would be required to verify that the batteries were PFAS free. This is not mentioned in the permit. They have to redo the whole permit. He's not admitting to that here. He's saying that if Sungeel wished to process PFAS-containing batteries in the future, a modification to the permit would need to be required. So they either have to certify with data from the manufacturers that these batteries do not contain PFAS, or they need to get a permit modification so that they can burn it. I do not see how they can get away with the first case without issuing a new permit. DEC advised the applicant the permit was only valid for non-PFAS containing batteries. It's not, because outside of the permit, there's this new requirement that they do this surveillance thing. And this certification, surveillance and certification of the batteries coming in. That needs to be codified in the permit, please. That needs to be codified in the permit. That's not a casual thing to add in a cover letter. The permit has to be redone. The entire permit has to be redone, not just for the PFAS issue. You got to rewind it back to the beginning because of the zoning problem and the type classification issue, the mistake that DEC made at the beginning of this back in 2018 or whenever they first started looking at this thing. 2019, sorry. It might have been 2018, actually, that DEC first started looking at this. So let's continue with this. DEC carefully reviewed all public comments and developed a comprehensive responsive summary to all the issues. No, you did not. You did not come up with a comprehensive review of all the issues. You didn't talk about the necessity for a type 1 seeker and a coordinated review that arises out of 6 NYCRR 617.4 B2. There's no discussion of that. And because of that, you misclassified this as an unlisted seeker. It had to be a type 1. Type 1, we would have gotten a whole different process, and our due process rights might have been preserved. Might. I trust the DEC as far as not very far. Let's just say that. I want to be able to trust the DEC, but I want to see a history of performance according to the law and according to the best needs of the people of New York. I want to see the it just seems like such a low bar. Let's just make sure the DEC follows the law. Let's start with the DEC following the law. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? Okay, so DEC added a permit condition. Also, DEC issued an amended. Listen to this, okay? Also, DEC issued an amended negative declaration for seeker based on information received during the comment period. That's pretty vague. Guess what they changed? They went from, there is no material, very strong statement, there is no material conflict with local land use laws, no problem with the zoning, to the Village of Endicott, the applicant must comply with all local zoning. So it's almost like the DEC admitted their initial mistake, but they didn't fix it. They just admitted when there was maybe a zoning issue, maybe. If it is, it's not our problem. The applicant must make sure they follow all local. It's their problem. It's not our problem. No, it's your problem, Basil. Basil? It reminds me of Faulty Towers. Basil! What are you doing, Basil? This is the DEC took a vacation to Faulty Towers, or that's what they're calling the DEC building in Albany now, Faulty Towers. Also, the DEC issued an amended negative declaration based on new information, where you tried to go hot potato, not our problem, you have it. Village of Endicott, it's all on you. Make sure they follow your zoning. It's not us, not our worry. Yes, it is your worry, because of 6 NYCRR 617.4 B2, which makes it your worry. Basil, Segos, it's your worry. Because you misclassified this as an unlisted seeker. It needs to be a type 1 seeker. No mention of that here. Many of the public comments were against the location of the facility, and some of the commenters mentioned the potential for fires. I love this. Listen to this. The potential fire hazard is beyond the purview of the DEC. Oh, really? The potential fire hazard is beyond the purview of the DEC. I don't think that's right. I think you can definitely look at the potential for a fire hazard within the context of an environmental impact statement. You better, because there's no pollution controls when there's a fire. This is extremely disappointing. I am extremely disappointed in the DEC commissioner with this kind of BS. We don't regulate the potential for fire hazard Like hell you don't. When they burn, there's no filters, there's no scrub, there's no wet scrubber, there's no bag house, there's no afterburner. It's just like, woo! Barbecue, baby. Barbecue some batteries. Throw another cell on the Barbie. The potential fire hazard is beyond the purview of the DEC. Bullshit. Nonetheless, we have included a condition in the final permit that requires battery sorting operation designed to minimize the risk of fires. Please refer to condition 3 of the final permit. We should go look that up. What's he talking about? Condition 3. You want to go look that up? Let's go look it up. So, what was the permit? I should look up the date. 2020-03-30. Scott E. Seeley, Albany, New York, signed the permit. This is a false certificate. All right. What does he say? What's the number? Condition? Condition. What's this wonderful condition? The wonderful condition. I've got way too many browser windows open. I lost the... Oh, it's a PDF. That's why I'm looking. There it is. Okay. So the potential is beyond the scope. I like that one. Now this is another one that I like. A statement that a location is unacceptable. Okay. Generally, to justify changes to the permit, DEC needs technical documentation such as tests run from other companies in support of their objections and comments. A statement that a location is unacceptable or that emissions may be harmful is not sufficient. What? A statement that emissions may be harmful is not sufficient. What? The DEC commissioner says that during a permit proceeding, when they have an open public comment period, if you write a comment and say, look, you point to their own permit and you say, look, formaldehyde, that causes cancer. Dioxin, that causes cancer. Hexavalent chromium causes cancer. Beryllium compounds cause cancer. You're emitting 4 known carcinogens. You're telling me even after the bag house, you're going to be emitting 4 known carcinogens after the bag house coming out into the air. 4 known carcinogens. And a statement that emissions may be harmful, this is the DEC commissioner, is not sufficient. WTF. That was pretty shocking to me. I think we're just about done. DEC reviewed the engineering data provided. Example, the nature of the process, emissions calculations, the type of air pollution controls proposed to determine that it was consistent with the emission data provided by the company. DEC double-checked the form. DEC reviewed the engineering data provided by the company and decided that it was consistent with other data that was provided from the company. Good job, DEC. Good job. Pat on the head. We decided that Sungeel gave us 2 documents, and document A confirmed whatever document B said. They confirmed each other. So that gave us great confidence in the data. That's just how asleep at the switch these guys are. For example, DEC required more details on dioxin emissions based on the chemicals present in lithium-ion batteries, and as a result, the owner conducted dioxin testing at the plant in Korea. Okay, we already talked about how that was insufficient. That's not my expertise. That's Paul Conant and John Ruspentini. So that's just what I hear them say. Initial emissions testing, which must be completed within 180 days of startup. Oh, that's what we need. Testing after the fact. What about baseline ambient air testing, Basil? Nonetheless, the permit contains 2 conditions that helps promote safe operation of the facility. The first is a condition for battery sorting and fire protection. That's what we want to do. What was the number? Condition 3. There we go. Let's find condition 3. Condition 3. Applications for permit renewals, modifications, and transfers. The permittee must submit a separate written application to the department for renewal, modification, or transfer of this permit. Such application must include any forms, supplemental information the department requires. Any renewal, modification, or transfer must be in writing. The permittee, 3.2, permittee must submit a renewal application 180 days before the expiration of permits for Title V and state facility permits. What? Title V? Am I reading the right thing? Is this Sungeel? Sungeel. Look, I'm going to show you. You don't believe me. What? Why are they talking about a Title V permit? I don't know about any Title V permit. Do you? It's the first I've heard of a Title V firm permit. The permittee must submit a renewal application at least 180 days before the expiration of permits for Title V. Maybe that's just a boilerplate thing that they always stick in there. Permits are transferable with the approval of the... I don't see what he's talking about. Condition 3? Application for permit renewal? We have included a condition for the final permit that requires a battery sorting. What? Article 19, Air Pollution Control, Air State Facility Permit. Look at this. Facility is 801 Clark Street. Scrap and waste materials. Classification by activity. Okay, so what did he say? He said sorting operation. Maybe I missed this. Compliance demonstration shall include the following monitoring: record-keeping maintenance procedures, no later than 180 days after the effective date of the permit and prior to commencing operation. The owner or operator shall submit to the department a plan to ensure that battery types with known chemistry, physical, and electrical properties, such as charge level, are accepted. A plan to ensure that battery types with known chemistry, physical, and electrical properties are accepted. To ensure that batteries of known, I mean, it's a little wimpy. I just think you want to say, you want to make sure that batteries that are unknown are rejected. I think that's what you want to specifically say in clear language. That's not what it says. The plan shall be designed to minimize the risk of fire. So the DEC puts the implementation details on somebody else, and include procurement requirements, visual on-site inspections, and sorting, proper storage in fire containment areas, and procedures to handle unacceptable batteries. The plan shall be updated annually as needed. Okay, well, maybe that's something. Okay, where were we? Donna Lupardo says, was an accident analysis done for this type of facility? I have no idea what she's talking about there. Accident analysis. Is she talking about a QRA, a quantitative risk analysis, maybe? I don't know what she's saying, but Basil Segos basically says, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, we are not aware of any accident analysis requirement. Okay, I don't either. And do not require such an analysis as part of a DEC airport permit or solid waste registration review. There are federal requirements that apply to analysis of potential chemical accidental releases found in 40 CFR Part 68. But that is not a DEC delegated program and may not apply at this facility. So that's something interesting to look up. 40 CFR Part 68. We'll look that up at some point. Will PFAS be a byproduct of the process occurring at the PFAS? DEC is taking steps to ensure PFAS emissions are properly addressed in the permit if the company cannot demonstrate that they will not accept batteries containing PFAS compounds. Let's read that again. DEC is taking steps to ensure PFAS emissions are properly addressed in the permit if the company cannot demonstrate that they will not accept batteries containing PFAS compounds. I think that case needs to be addressed in permit conditions. But once again, talking about PFAS now, we got to roll this thing way back, baby, to the initial classification error. It was classified as an unlisted seeker. That was a mistake by DEC. DEC needs to fix this error. They're not even admitting to this error yet. They're being weaselly about it, like in the amended negative declaration. Oh, by the way, we used to say our former strong statement that there's no material land use conflict. We're walking that back, and what we're going to say instead is the applicant must ensure that they comply with all local zoning laws. So they're admitting there was a zoning problem, but they didn't fix it. If they fixed it, it would have required a Type 1 seeker. Everybody's digging in. Donna's digging in. DEC's digging in. This is not looking good. DEC is taking steps to ensure PFAS emissions are properly addressed. Okay. However, the emissions and testing will be conducted at a South Korean facility to evaluate any PFAS emissions. However, emissions testing will be conducted. So that's kind of interesting. They're saying because of this, they're going to do more testing in South Korea. So maybe that's what's taking so long. DEC regulations do not require a continuous emission monitoring system for this facility. Well, the regulations don't require it, but you can stipulate any damn thing you want to. And you didn't even give us a chance. You gave us the accelerated fast track process where we barely get a chance to comment, read the documents like, whoa, what's this? We got 60 days to digest this whole thing, figure it all out in 60 days. Guess what? It took me months to figure this thing out. So it's the fast track. That's what DEC gave us. The Endicott plan, the Endicott special. I forgot it's the fast track too. Besides the fact that there's no, you get the unlisted action, uncoordinated review, no public hearings, no environmental impact statement, and the fast track. All included in the Endicott special. DEC regulations do not require continuous emissions monitoring. You can stipulate it. And had you asked this community through an environmental impact statement, which is a lengthy process, and you took the time to really listen to what we're saying, you'd realize that we do want a plan. Why not? Let's make this state of the art. You claim that it's all clean and everything. Prove it to us. Let's give the SUNY students a little project, and let's cover 60 square miles. Let's put about, let's say 30, 25 to 30 sensors, place them in a grid that's 60 square miles, which is roughly the entire southern tier. It's from Endicott over to Kirkwood. It's just long. It's a lot longer than it is tall, but it's about 60 square miles according to my calculation. Basil Sagos, there he is. Okay, so that's the Basil Sagos letter, friends, and I'm about all talked out for the night. We're gonna pick it up at another time, and we're gonna do the we're gonna finish up the Town of Union. Just watching it together, watching the Town of Union vote the other night, because there's a lot to discuss. There were some people saying some things about me at the end. We're going to go through all of that probably tomorrow sometime. God bless you all. I work in the public interest, so I really, need your donations now more than ever, friends. So there's my email address, williamahuston@gmail. There's my PayPal, tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Huston. There is my snail mail address, P.O. Box 22, Endicott 13761. God bless you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. I'm just checking. Okay. This demonstration shall include the following monitoring, record-keeping maintenance procedures. No, we're saying you'd realize that we do want a plan. Why not? Let's make this state of the art. You claim that it's all clean and everything. Prove it to us. Let's give the SUNY students a little project, and let's cover 60 square miles. Let's put about, let's let's give the SUNY students a little project, and let's cover 60 square miles. Let's put about following, let's give the SUNY students a little project, and let's cover 60 square miles. Let's put about let's realize that we do want a plan. Why not? Let's make this state of the art. You claim that it's all clean and everything. Prove it to us. Let's give the SUNY students a little project, and let's cover 60 square miles. Let's put about,